Rohith, are you ready? Gladiators, are you ready? Matt, are you ready? No. Okay. All right. Loading. Loading. Okay. Rohith Amruthur. Rohith tells people he doesn't eat pizza because he's lactose intolerant, but in reality, he just hates pizza. Give it up for Rohith.
So explaining to people that I don't eat pizza makes me really anxious, actually, and sometimes that anxiety creates a migraine. But today, I'm going to tell you how I control my stress-related migraines without doctors, pills, or therapy. So before I start, I want to give you 3 disclaimers. And the first is that this only works for stress-related migraines, so if you have a food allergy or an injury, it won't work for you. Number 2, just because I didn't use doctors, pills, or therapy doesn't mean I think they're useless, looking at you anti-vaxxers out here. And number 3, this method does not mean they'll go away forever, but you'll be able to control them better. So let's start with my story in a nutshell, my childhood. I was a very stressed out child, and I'm pretty sure I have ADHD, but my parents never diagnosed me for it, and social anxiety was a huge thing for me, especially being an introvert, and it continues into my 20s as well. Now, transition a little bit to adulthood, more stress from work, I started feeling a lot of tension, especially in this area, and the more stressed I got, the more it just made its way up until it became a full-blown migraine. Now, moving on, I thought it was because I was drinking so much coffee, and I'm not talking about caffeine withdrawal migraines. I'm talking just because caffeine triggers anxiety, which triggered the migraines. So I cut caffeine for a little bit, and the migraines went away, but then they came back, even though I was drinking no coffee. So I was like, what the hell is this? That's why I thought it was stress. And I knew it was stress because I was experiencing other symptoms of stress, like bloating, sweating, and sleep issues. Guys, I was living like this for 6 to 8 months. I would go to bed with a migraine and wake up with a migraine. It was terrible. Now, I refused, I was like, how can I treat this? Massages, those were temporary, they fixed. Hobbies, I would get migraines while playing my PlayStation. Meditation, I chose to meditate rather than medicate, because everyone said that's the cool thing to do. So, I had been meditating on and off for about 4 years, but I decided to commit to meditation for 30 minutes a day, every day. Now, how was I able to do this? I was unemployed, so I had time. And I would go to a meditation studio so I could really get guidance, more or less. Now, here's the thing about meditation. There's so many misconceptions about it. Everyone thinks it's about trying to get rid of your thoughts, but no, it's about observing your thoughts. And here's the thing, you're not guaranteed to feel better after a meditation session. That's like expecting to feel bigger after you go to a gym. Speaking of the gym, I started weightlifting at 20 because I was super skinny. And I knew I had to lift, but I didn't know how to lift. But I just went to the gym with no expectations. After going, the compliments and the results followed. People just started saying it. And so I took that zero expectations approach to meditation as well. I believed that results would follow. I would just keep showing up to the meditation center, not expecting anything. As cliche as it sounds, I trusted the journey. In terms of what I learned from meditation, 3 big things. Number 1, be curious and question, even yourself. Number 2, thoughts and emotions always serve a purpose, even the negative ones. And number 3, trust and believe in the process. That's not the last time I'm going to say that. So in terms of curiosity, we often react to stress by getting overwhelmed or upset at ourselves. But we never stop to think that, hey, my stress and anxiety might be trying to tell me something, that I'm thinking something wrong, I'm letting bad thoughts into my head. And in terms of negative feelings and emotions, they evolved with us for a reason. They exist for a reason. So it's worth paying attention to your negative feelings while you feel bad. And you might even thank that negative feeling for letting you know that you're thinking something bad. And then finally, trusting and believing in the process. It was true for me for meditation and for weightlifting. I applied that into migraines. I believe that the more I created a better relationship with my negative emotions, that they would go away. Now, what I'm about to tell you won't work overnight, but here's what you do when you get a migraine. Number 1, stop and take 3 big, deep breaths. I'm talking open mouth exhale. Number 2, thank your migraine and stress for telling you that you're letting bad thoughts into your head. Number 3, get curious. Why am I feeling this way? Go down that rabbit hole if you can. Now, if you're having social anxiety and you're speaking to someone, concentrate on their eyes and just kind of listen to what they're saying. And finally, I told you that wasn't the last time, trust in the process. Here's some things that you may notice that I noticed from observing my thoughts. You might be engaging in overly stimulating activities like constantly checking your phone. You might be overusing substances like caffeine, nicotine, alcohol. And you might just be engaging in a ton of unproductive thought patterns. Now, the goal of the migraine method is not to eliminate your migraines, but instead to develop a better relationship with these feelings. Because when you try and suppress these negative emotions, that just creates a more negative cycle where you just start to feel it more and more intensely. I want to end on one final thought. Why do we have stomach aches? When we consistently put bad food into our body. Why do we have headaches? We consistently put bad thoughts into our heads. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Rohith, everybody.